Sekeres and Price from the Grooveland. From the Wall Center, a presentation of Audi downtown Vancouver. And this next block brought to you by Able Auction.
Two gin talks, thank you.
Two? Just two, huh? Not Crown? Check out ableauctions.ca for industrial equipment in January. A wood shop with late model BSE nesting point-to-point router and Minimax 10-foot sliding panel saw, or a metal shop with Sidan 120-inch mechanical shear, Sidan 120-inch mechanical folder. They also have sea containers, 3 60-foot rock slews, hydraulic attachments, dump trucks, flatbed trucks, and a whole lot more. For information on all these auctions, go to ableauctions.ca. That's ableauctions.ca. Joining us now, one half of the team, Donnie and Dhali, weekdays 10 to 12 on Czech television. It's our dear friend, and Happy New Year to Rick Dhaliwal.
Happy New Year to you two boys. First time talking to you in the new year, and we got a ton of stuff to talk about. Guys, I don't know about you, but I'm just, there is a feeling of just, what's the fatigue with this COVID stuff. And I started feeling it around Christmas time and then New Year's, and now here we go again with the NHL stuff. I think the biggest thing I've noticed today, in an interaction on our show today, is a lot of people are just frustrated. Like, it's always kind of like 2 steps forward, 1 step back, then 1 step forward, 2 back. It's just, it's a very frustrating time, not just for Canuck fans, but in society in general. It's a very tough time.
Do you think they're frustrated about attendance, like about not being able to go, or like would people be a lot more accommodating if the game was happening? And even if it was no attendance, do you think they just want the game, or do you think they want the whole experience going and everything?
Yeah, that's a great question. And the people I talk to they just want to watch hockey, and it's not just going to the games, Blake. It's sitting at home on a Saturday night, hockey night in Canada. We all wait for it Saturday, and it comes and it's not there. And I just think there's incredible frustration. And here's the thing for you guys. So Bill Daly comes on our show yesterday, says the Canucks game, Ottawa, is a go. He told me last Sunday in an email, the Canucks Ottawa is a go. 24 hours later, it's canceled. When the league wants it, I think the NHL, I think the TV network wanted it, and then the Canucks step in and say it's not going to happen. Obviously, they sent out a press release. A lot of it is due to the capacity, but in their defense, 7 games have been canceled for the Canucks. 6 of those at home. Blake and Matt, that's a lot of revenue out the window, guys.
Mm-hmm. Well, you got to wonder what is the fill-in programming and whether or not it's Hinterland's Who's Who, Ricky.
Yeah.
On Saturday night, hockey night in Canada. Remember, you see the Hinterland's Who's Who, and then we get ready for the theme song that everybody remembers. What was driving this postponement, best that you can tell? Because the Ottawa Senators have a quirky schedule whereby Seattle would be a one-off trip for them if they played this game last night. They don't come further west than Vegas. So what is your understanding, if Daly's saying yesterday that this game is going ahead, why it's not today?
I was told early this morning due to capacity, and also, and Thomas Stranz mentioned on the show, which makes a lot of sense, guys. If they go ahead with this game, 9,000 people, and I was told I couldn't have Uncle Bob over at Christmas, I couldn't have a New Year's party, and all of a sudden cases are going, and if let's say on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, there's brand new 10,000 new cases just attributed to the Canucks game, there was a concern. And, and we're all told to scale back parties, don't have anyone over, and all of a sudden you're going to allow 9,000 people into a rink, guys. And if the cases would have exploded and they were all linked back to Rogers Arena, there's a lot of things at play here. I don't think it's simply due to capacity 100%, but Thomas made a really good point. There is concern about having 9,000 people gather in one place in these times.
I mean, if there was concern, they reduced the capacity, though, Rick. I mean, according to provincial regulations, they're allowed to play the game. This sounds a lot more like a revenue concern than anything else. And to me, which is a little bit shocking because there's no guarantee that you get all 82 in. They're going to try. They're going to bend over backwards. But, 9,000 fans is a lot better than no fans, which is what they played to last year. You can break even with 9,000 fans at Rogers Arena, and they were allowed to do that tomorrow night.
Yeah. And so get the full gate later, better than the 50% now. Maybe that's what ownership. So the owner's going to allow his lacrosse team to play tonight, right? We know that. The Abbotsford Canucks are a go tonight. We know that. So as of right now, anyways, this thing is, as a good hockey guy told me last night, this COVID is day to day, hour to hour. You can announce something and then it could possibly change hourly. Hour later. So he's going to let his lacrosse team play. He's going to let his American Hockey League team play, but he's not going to let the Canucks play. So I just think, and it wasn't COVID cases with the Canucks that was driving this. It was due to capacity, and I do believe there was a little bit of concern about allowing so many people in one place when you've told everyone else, you've told restaurants to scale back, you've told people to scale back everywhere in society, but you're going to allow 9,000 in a rink? Come on.
Which brings us to the Bodog poll question. Is the 82-game season important to you as a fan, Ricky? Or are you married to 82 for an NHL schedule?
No, I'm not. And so the people that would vote for that are the ones that are going to want the Canucks in the playoffs and count every single point, every single game. But let's be honest, guys, there's a possibility they may not get in 82. And as Darren Drager said today in a tweet, maybe do they extend the regular season by a week to get all 82 in? Do you do that? Are we in as somebody told me last night, are we in a much better state COVID-wise in the spring, in the summer? I think we are. And if we're better situation in the spring and the summer, and maybe we can get back to full capacity. But guys, look, if you don't play all 82, the Canucks got into the bubble. Remember, and Blake will tell you this, the Canucks got into the bubble, but we don't know 100% if they had played all 82 games, if they would have got to the bubble. We don't know that.
And it could be the opposite trajectory this time around, of course, of them rising rather than falling. The one thing I'll say, remember, they're out of the North Division now. The Canadian division, they have to play 82 guys because how do you, you could do points percentage, I suppose, as you mentioned with the bubble, but I don't think they want to do that again. And last year it was tidy. That's why I'm surprised they played out the string last year after their COVID outbreak because they didn't need to. It was purely TV revenue that was the issue there. Here, they're going to have 5 teams in the North, in the Pacific Division that have played 82, and 3 that have played 76. Like that doesn't work. That does not work at all.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
The escrow matter too, right?
And here's the other one for you guys. If I'm Bruce Boudreau right now, I'm losing it. I've got one of the hottest teams in the league. I'm one of the hottest new coaches ever, 8-0-1, and he is going to now go 9 days between games. And the next game he plays is going to be against the number 1 team in the NHL, then the number 2 team in the NHL. Their next 7 games are against top 10 teams in the NHL. And he has to go into that with 9 days off. The Ottawa game would have helped them so much, just getting a game for the first time in 8 days. And now they got to go 10 days between games. Bruce Boudreau's got to be going nuts, guys. This is not what he wants. When you got a team as hot as his team, you want to keep playing. Keep playing. You got Demko, one of the hottest goalies in the league. Okay, he wants to keep playing. What a starting goalies love, playing night after night after night after night. Poor guy can't play for 10 days.
Well, and as bad as he has it, I believe the Senators are over double digits now in terms of postponed games. I did Ottawa radio this morning. I forget if they said 11 or 13. There's some crazy numbers out there in terms of teams that need to make up games at this stage of the equation. Okay, let's move on, Ricky. You got a new name on the GM hunt here for the Canucks.
Well, just, you know what? Here's what I think is going to happen. I think the Pittsburgh Penguins front office is going to move to Vancouver, and the only ones left behind are going to be Brian Burke and Ron Hextall. Jim Rutherford's talking to a lot of former Penguins. Patrick Alvin's a guy that everybody thinks will end up as the GM. Ryan Bowness was a name dropped. I've heard if Bowness comes, he'll play a big part in the scouting department. Derek Clancy's already here. He's heading up the scouting, and I heard he's been active, busy. But Thomas Drance dropped another big name this morning for me, and that is Scott Young. He's a director of player personnel, I think, in Pittsburgh. Drance called him a rising star. Don't be surprised, according to Thomas, if Scott Young is another guy that Jim Rutherford is talking to. And this is what we know about hockey people when they get jobs. They always hire their friends, people they trust, people they're comfortable with. But, man, Rutherford's going after a lot of former Penguins.
I think we forecasted that from the outset, did we not?
I believe Blake Price. Blake Price was the first guy to say that, and and one thing in life, and I always believe this: you always have to give credit where credit is due. And Mr. Price, what's that show called? Price is Right. That's freaking Price is right there.
Celebrating 50 years.
Yeah, Price is Right. You were right, Blake. He is in trying to invade the city of Pittsburgh and the Penguins front office.
Given the fact they're on a heater themselves, that Penguins organization, and they've got a lot of jewelry, it's probably not a bad organization to try and pilfer based on prior performance. Can we move on to Aidan McDonough and Olympics?
Yeah, please.
And, we've been trying to link a lot of the local connections to Team Canada, but here's a local connection to Team USA with the new world order of the Olympics.
Yeah, I was told yesterday, and this speaks volumes of this kid's development, guys. Aidan McDonough, I know he's a 7th-round pick, but he's also one of those late bloomers, tall kid, lanky kid. Those guys take longer. College, you're going to be more patient. You got more years for development, less games, more time to work on your body, and all that stuff. Less games in the NCAA as opposed to the dub. So anyways, Aidan McDonough on the radar. I'm not saying he's going to get picked, but he has certainly been identified by the U.S. Olympic team. 13 goals, 18 games, Northeastern. The big question for me, guys, is he going to sign this year? So I talked to his agent last night, and he just said to me, he says, Rick, look, that decision is weeks away. As soon as the NCAA season is over, you can sign him right away. Go back to Brock Besser, signed the next day. Quinn Hughes signed the next day. The guy that didn't sign the next day was Jack Rathbone. He waited a complete year to do it, and he went right down to the deadline, the 11th hour. So listen, if you're the Canucks, you want to sign this kid. He is improving his foot speed. He's got a deadly shot. He's a tall, lanky kid, 6'2". Like somebody compared him to Adam Gaudette, and I said, come on, man. Adam Gaudette is not 6'2". And the other one for you, the people I've talked to at Northeastern just rave about his progress, and most of that progress, and especially for tall, lanky kids, has to come with the foot speed and the skating, and he's done it.
Now, is he going to be a Canuck, though? How about that question?
Well, and so I tried to delve into that, and the agent would just say, he just told me last night, you guys got to wait. We haven't, he did tell me he loves Vancouver. And so he did tell me that he's an absolute fan of the Vancouver Canucks. So we're going to have to wait closer to the season coming to an end to find out if Aidan McDonough is going to sign with the Vancouver Canucks. But I can't tell you this is a kid. And remember this. Remember what Jim Rutherford – I don't think the Canucks cupboards are full with top-end prospects. Their 219 draft, your buddy there, Matt, Yoni Yermo, first round, that pick was in the 3rd round. I don't know if there's going to be a player from that draft that plays, Matt. They need to bank on some college kids. They need to bank on some guys playing in Europe. They need to bank on some guys on the peripheral, right, that not in Abbotsford right now, to kind of make this team in the next year or two.
Your buddy.
I don't know why I'm –
because every time I say his name, you tell me I said it wrong. That's why.
Well, I do think it is Yanni. I do think Yanni. They go a soft J in Finland. Moving along from one Canucks prospect to another, Linus Karlsson was not exactly high-end. In fact, people thought, oh, boy, did Doug Wilson in San Jose get the best of Benning in Vancouver on the Jonathan Dallain trade. And they may very well
pronunciation, have. Linus, come on.
Linus.
Price.
I'll put myself on Easonos. Linus Karlsson is having a hell of a year in the top division of Swedish hockey, where he's a 22-year-old rookie because he's played in the second division since then. What do you know about him?
Okay, so I talked to his agent today in Sweden. The Canucks have to sign him by July 15th or he becomes a UFA. I think he's leading all rookies in Sweden right now, 23 points, 29 games. They can't do the deal with this kid till the season's over. But the agent did reiterate that signing in Vancouver is the goal. So as I said, and Jim Rutherford also said, they're going to have to be active in the NCAA, and they're going to have to be active also in Europe with signings and guys that are playing over there to make it. Because let's not forget, the Canucks have given up 2 first-round picks. They gave one up for JT Miller, and I don't mind that. And they gave one up for Garland and OEL. And then there was the second rounder. I can't remember where the second rounder went, but that's a lot of high picks guys that have left the building. And so you really got to bank on some guys in the lower rounds to kind of move up and make it. But I everything I've heard about this Karlsson kid, taking his time. He didn't sign last year, and they made the smart move of taking him back to Sweden. Let him develop and grow. Patience. Patience is a word in hockey. I don't care if you're an Adam or Pee Wee or Bantam. No one's ever got patience in hockey because they want to see the finished product right now. But and we know this, guys. The finished product takes years and years and years.
Rutherford echoing what a couple of prior Canucks general managers have talked about with regards to finding these found wallets. Burke talked about it. Mike Gillis talked about it as well. You know, if you don't have the draft capital, you got to go find those players elsewhere, right?
Have to. You have to find them. If Aidan McDonough and Karlsson become players for the Canucks down the road, that's going to be good for the organization. But who was the Swede the Canucks signed? And he was the player of the year in Sweden, and then he went to Utica, and it was just a total mess. What was his name again?
Philip Larson?
No. He was a forward. And Modine?
Anton Rodin. He was a draft pick.
Yeah. It's okay. Yeah. So anyways, Rodin has this big year. Comes down, and Henderson's laughing in the background. What an idiot. Anyways, he has this big year, but he comes here, and that trend, and you look at Jonathan Dellin. I know he's in the NHL, and people are going to say yada, yada, yada. But Rodin comes here. He goes to he just doesn't get the time of day, just like Dallin, and it didn't work out for him. But it didn't work out for him with any other NHL team as well, Blake. But you got to hit on some of these European guys. Got to hit on some of them.
I like a good pesto rotini. That's good.
Had one at the Pharaoh's Feast in Vegas. Like, lastly, Yaroslav Halak plays 2 more games. He's owed a $1.25 million bonus applied to next year's cap. And according to Darren Dreger, the Canucks are listening. Rutherford is listening on Halak, who we suspect will get one start next weekend on a back-to-back, but who knows beyond that. And I know there's been some rumblings that he isn't exactly pleased with the amount of games he has gotten in this season to date. What are you hearing on Halak?
Okay, so what I'm hearing on Halak is he's got the full no move. He controls the situation. I have not heard that he wants out, Matt or Blake. And look at the schedule coming up, guys. First of all, 2 things. If Demko gets hurt, so that's one. Second of all, they are going to play starting next Tuesday, 12 games in 22 days. Do you honestly think out of those 12 games, the Demko's getting 11 of them? It's just humanly not possible. There's no way. They are going to play. I do agree that Demko is going to get all the number 1 team in the NHL, the number 2, the number 3, the number 5. I get all that, but you got to get Halak in there somewhere. So I'm looking at 12 games, 22 days. I think he's going to easily hit the 10-game mark, and especially if Demko gets hurt. I'm not hearing that he wants out. I am not hearing, Matt, that this is an issue. I think the Canucks don't have a problem putting 1.25 on the cap for next year. Luongo's coming off the cap. If it was $4 or $5 million, I think it would be a bigger deal and a bigger issue. But I fully, from what I was told, and these things can change. And the thing about reporting is one thing you report on a Friday, it could be totally different than what you report on Saturday because things do change in life. I'm just hearing that I fully expect him to play 10 games.
Ricky, that'll do it for today. Great to hear your voice again, my friend. Great to hear Ryan Henderson chortling in the background. And you're free to have a crown, buddy. We'll catch up next Friday. Always a pleasure talking to you two. And the price is right. He nailed it. The price is right.
Penguins West. It's happening.
Penguins West. The only people left in Pittsburgh are going to be Ben Roethlisberger and Brian Burke. That's it. All right, boys. Roethlisberger has played his last game. I know, but he can still be living there. Yeah, anyways. Very fair. Yeah, very fair. That keeps you off E's and O's. That's Rick Dhaliwal, everybody. One half of the team with Donnie and Dhali. Weekdays, 10 to 12 on Check
Television joins us each and every Friday. Mr. Price.
Folks, your property values are soaring. You know they are. But, hey, you do need that extra little bit of cash flow for keeping up that home, perhaps, for extra expenses you didn't expect this season. You can extract that newfound value with those property assessments going skyward. Take that value out of your home. If you're a homeowner, use it in a home equity line of credit. And he's not the big bank, Jason Hominick at Jason.Mortgage. If they're saying no, doesn't matter. Jason Hominick can find somebody to say yes. So go to Jason.Mortgage, have a chat with Jason Hominick, and see what you can now do with this cavalcade, this waterfall of equity that you've got in your home. Jason.Mortgage.